Good morning, everybody. Mike Vaki, Princetontrader.com, here for ntmarkets.com with your Wednesday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, today is FOMC day. The announcement comes at 2. I'll give my first general admonition out of the block. Don't game the Fed. Don't put a bunch of contracts on, long or short, ahead of the Fed because you think you know what the reaction is going to be, because you don't. Okay? Trade off a price, trade off of the reaction, see what the range is after the announcement comes out, and trade that. That's a much better strategy than assuming and engaging in some intellectual exercise where you think that you can outguess what the reaction is going to be to the Fed because of a number of factors that you in your own mind have deemed to be important. Just don't. It's not worth it. There's a much better way to spend your time, which is, trying to find what that important range is after the number comes out. Okay, so what did we see yesterday? For the first time in a long time, the bulls dropped the ball yesterday. They dropped it big time. We had new highs last week. Friday's low was middle band. We broke below middle band. That's the 20-day simple moving average. That's indicated by the green line here on the daily chart of the S&P E-mini futures. Yesterday, however, we broke below middle band and we closed. Now, looking at a 5-minute chart, it sets up like this. You had your highs here in the morning up in the 79s. I talked about being long 63. Our room exited 63s up around 78 there. We got out of the rest of that trade. We got a nice little short on 77.5. We broke below the middle band here at 69. Now, we've seen this happen before. Was it a sloppy test? Yes, but it's something typically that the bulls and the dip buyers get through no problem. We see that lower high. The bears have done this before. But what we saw yesterday that we have not seen so many times is a follow through, a break below this low, and a lower low. Now, a lot of that was helped by the president in the Ukrainian sanctions, but the tape is the tape. So we make a new low here. Now, the next step in this process, and we'll have to see this play out through the entire course of the day, is does middle band become resistance? If middle band becomes resistance, then the bears can go to work on the lower band. You can see them get some actual mileage out of this market. So as I move the chart back over to real time, you can see the Globex high comes in at 68.75, which is one tick below where the middle band currently is, up at up around 69. So if we see the 69 area become consistent resistance during the course of the entire day, then that's an environment where the bears can maybe get some work done and start to push things down into this lower band. And don't forget, Bollinger Band rides work both ways. We've got bands that are incredibly tight. The Bollinger Bandwidth this morning is 1.52. If the bears can continue this move down, open up these bands, they can go on a ride that could last, minimum 4 sessions. Now, the fly in the ointment is Janet Yellen at 2 o'clock. That has been fairly bullish fuel during the course of her time as chair of the FOMC. If the reaction to her announcement is bearish and the middle band stays resistance, then the scenario that I talked about can play out at least for a period of time, a day or two. Because remember, as soon as Yellen is done, we're going to start talking about jobs report on Friday. Now, if Yellen is bullish, then and you see the green line get taken out, at that point, I think it'll be very difficult for the bears to get it back. I think they'll be fairly shell-shocked. There's only so many times they're going to push down below before we go up and make new highs. They only get so many chances. And we talked about this, back here a couple weeks ago, and we went up and made new highs. So the bears really have to push today. They have to sit on that middle band and keep it as resistance. And if they're able to do that, they can push the market lower. Strange as that sounds, they really can. we're not going to go up forever, and the things that are going to precipitate a decent pullback are the steps that I just mentioned, and we're at the next step. Can middle band become resistance? All right, everybody have a great one. Follow us on Twitter at Princetontrader. Check out the website. Check out the chat room. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another webcast. Trade 'em well, everybody.